Okay, a lot to talk about tonight for AEW. Another stacked show, I should say, especially leading into Double or Nothing. There's a lot to talk about. Title matches, builds, what's going into the pay-per-view this month, and some information that has been released this week in regards to AEW, which I got some thoughts on and whatnot. So there's a lot to say about this show. Good, bad, just a lot to say about it, okay? So we do kick off the show, number one, with the IWGP US title on the line. I'm surprised this is kicking off the show in general, but IWGP US title, John Moxley, Yuji Nagata, title on the line. I know both of these two were on New Japan Strong last Friday, and now tonight we get the show on pay-per-view. Not pay-per-view, what am I talking about? We get it live on AEW TV. Nagata has not been on TNT in over 23 years since WCW. John Moxley had different music, which I kind of thought this was kind of odd. He came out to Wild Thing, which I actually thought he was about to come out to his NJPW music or just his regular music in general. It's like, why did he come out to this? Now, apparently the reason why was a tribute to Onita, because I believe Onita comes out to this music, but some would say Moxley is no Onita, so it was kind of odd that he just changed the music all of a sudden. I was like, okay, why is he playing Wild Thing for in his entrance music? Just kind of strange when I was just like, wait, did he change his music again? Who thought this was a good idea? So, I'd rather stick to his regular music or play his NJPW music. That's my opinion, though. But I know they show Rocky Romero, who was in the crowd watching this match. He's from, he's from NJPW also. But listen, this is a very good match to kick off the show. I was surprised it went so fast, to be honest. I didn't really think it'd be about 8 minutes out there, but this was still a very good match between both of these guys. Nagata being the legend out there was like 53, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. So Nagata can still go. I noticed, maybe because I watch New Japan a lot, so I consistently watch the show on a consistent basis and everything. A lot of people probably have not even seen Yuji Nagata in years, or probably don't even know who Yuji Nagata even is, and probably this is their first time seeing him and whatnot. But like I said, I thought both of these guys had a very good opener out there. I think we all knew John Moxley was going to win, so I'm not really surprised. I will say one thing. My neighbor even kind of thought this himself. If you wanted a better match out there to put on TV, he told me this other day, you could have sent Ishii out there to go against Moxley. That would have been a barn burner. Hey, we could have put Minoru Suzuki back out there for the second time against John Moxley for that U.S. title. I'm sure a lot of people want to see that. You want to see hard hitting action? Go watch their first match online, and you'll just see what I'm talking about. Okay, but Moxley won with the Death Rider onto Yuji Nagata. Both men showed respect to each other after the match. So, yeah, like I said, very good match. I know they had Kingston and Ren Narita out there, too. So, I know they were just kind of like by both contender sides and whatnot. But like I said, a good match to kick off the show. So, hopefully, we get someone different next to go against Moxley. Like I said, Ishii, but then again, I heard New Japan's got some COVID problems right now already as it is. Well, like 7 wrestlers got sick, and I know they canceled their Tokyo Dome show they had coming up this month. I think it was in a few days, so I know it's just some things kind of going on with that right now, so it's probably hard for travel restrictions and whatnot. So that's what I'm just kind of go off what I've seen lately, all right? But like I said, Mox won. He still holds on to the U.S. title, but it was good to see some more New Japan talent on AEW TV. Um, Next, though, I know they went to the Inner Circle. Sammy Guevara, Ortiz, and Jake Hager after what happened with Jericho last week, and even Santana not being here, saying like you're gonna have to kill us to beat us if you want to get rid of us. Next, Cody Rhodes came out and he cut a promo, basically talking about his match with Anthony Ogogo coming up, which I'm sure we all know who was gonna face. But Cody talked about patriotism and it's a little out of style nowadays, and basically Cody went on to talked about a lot of stuff from the two-party system and election that just happened and, what to do during the national anthem and whatnot. Cody, basically went on saying, he's never not been too proud of being American. He talked about Anthony Gogo as coming to the United States, getting his Visa card or green card, and basically, enjoy the freedoms and whatnot. And there's a lot of arguments of what America really is and whatnot. And he talked about Gogo didn't come to America to live in the England dream or whatnot. he wanted to come over here and disparage anyone that comes across the pond. And he started talking about guys like Doug Williams and Pac and others and Gabriel Kidd. And talked about several other English wrestlers. And he talked about how an Italian immigrant became champion for over 4,000 days. I think that's Bruno Sammartino. He talked about someone from Pakistan who, talk about paints pretending a single bumper. Now he lives everywhere in Jacksonville and whatnot. And talked about 1961. It was segregation back then in Georgia. And I think he talked about, how schools were back then. Well, we all know how segregation works, okay? And basically talked about his wife, Brandy, and talked about his kid. Basically, she will have both identities, both black and both white. I know some were trying to say that it was kind of convenient that they showed they cut the camera to some white dude wearing a Black Lives Matter t-shirt. So it was kind of convenient and whatnot. But Cody basically said he didn't lie down under another man's flag just to have, defeat his attitude. He says he's going to come back. He's going to fight, and he will fight at Double or Nothing. As basically talked about, Tony Khan announced to be full capacity show of fans at Double or Nothing. He has challenged the Go-Go. You will be facing the American Nightmare, okay? Because that's who you're not going to be facing. You would be facing him, but you're going to be facing the American Dream, Cody Rhodes. So let me say this. Cody Rhodes, he can cut a great promo. Am I waiting for him just to put himself over at the pay-per-view? I'm sure that will happen, but I'll give Cody one thing. The guy can talk out there. He's always cut great promos, and at least he's leading you into something. He's setting up the match. He's setting you up the reason why you need to care about this match and watch it. So he is telling a story. Yeah, he's kind of sounding like a patriot out there, and you're probably expecting him to come out on the pay-per-view with a bald eagle probably hanging on his arm. Or he could be like freaking Superman if you've seen The Dark Knight Returns Part 2 when he's got a bald eagle on his arm and whatnot. So expect Cody Rhodes to be like the super patriot or whatever he's going with right now. But like I said, he's cut a very great promo, okay? So at least he's setting up the story and talking about, how this match is going to go on. And some would expect he may have been talking about a stipulation or what's the match is going to be. No, he's just setting up a regular wrestling match. So I'll give Cody Rhodes one thing. The guy can tell a story leading in to what is going to happen, all right? So, at least when he talks, he can get you interested. But at the same time, I look at him, I'm not going to say he could possibly be another... Well, we already know the Triple H comparisons, but unless he starts coming out there and cutting these 20-minute long promos and it's not going anywhere, then okay. But I'm still probably either going to call him Cody Christ or, Jeff Jarrett number 2 or whatnot, okay? But overall, though, Cody still cut a great promo, setting up this match with Anthony Ogogo at Double or Nothing. Next, the Young Bucks went against SCU. If SCU loses, the last time they would team up together. You know what? I wanted to like this match. I actually thought this could have been a show stealer. It was actually going good at first. Now, Daniels started bleeding really heavily after Nick did like a super kick into the ring post. He was bleeding all over the place. But then, this is where they kind of started to lose me a little, okay? It was cool when Kazarian hit a Styles Clash in the ring. And, the Bucks broke it up. But next thing you know, Daniels, who's just trying to survive out there at this point, basically, he gets hit with a spray can out there. Still a false finish. And yes, the blood does help and everything, but this is where the Bucks started doing their high school community theater play out here. Basically, they got to recreate or imitate WrestleMania 24 with Shawn Michaels and Ric Flair saying, "I'm sorry, I love you," and it just looked really lame. And of course, Daniels kicked out. Daniels did go for the, BME, but he ended up botching it since he slipped on the ropes. He ended up doing it again, which I guess they tried to cover it, saying it was a blood loss and whatnot, but it was just a botch in general. But like I said, they did the BME. Then that's when they did the whole spray to the eyes thing, and that still didn't work. And then the Bucks ended up hitting the BTE trigger onto Daniels for the win. So, like I said, I wanted to like this match all the way. The false finishes weren't that bad, especially the blood adds a lot to it. But at the same time, it's like, okay, the spray's not working. Your finisher almost not working. Then it's like you just had to take some type of a shot at WWE. Like, hey, let's try to recreate WrestleMania 24. I get the Bucks are heels, but at the same time, I just thought this looked lame, okay? And here's another thing. this is supposed to be a big emotional moment for SCU. Like, hey, we're not going to show them breaking up or anything. We're just going to move on to the next segment as fast as possible. And let's show Eddie Kingston and Jon Moxley just destroying the Elite's locker room and whatnot. So I think they kind of rushed that part a little. I think people want to see at least the emotional, probably breakup for this team and whatnot, since it's the last time they're going to team up together. But no, we're just going to go to the next segment as fast as possible. So I'm sure nobody but the crowd or whoever's out there saw, probably them have their emotional farewell after they lost the match. So, like I said, I like this match, but they just kind of lost me through half of it and started to become a little bit overbooked. Next, Christian was in the back talking about, what member he could be facing Team Taz. And with the Casino Battle Royale coming up, Matt Sydal challenged him to a match next week. Pac went against Orange Cassidy to see who would get a shot at the AEW title. This match went on to like a powerbomb Pac did onto Cassidy, which I believe Cassidy may have been really hurt, if I'm not mistaken, because Cassidy was down on the ground for a while, okay? And it looked like they had to stall through the commercial until, Omega came out and hit, Pac in the back of the head with the title. And then we did like a double count out then after that. And then, Callis and Omega saying there's no winner, so Omega has the night off. And then, I guess Shivani told him that it's going to be a triple threat match, a double or nothing, which Omega and them got pissed off then after that. Then he said going back to Winnipeg and everything. And whatnot, but let me say this. I know they teased it last week with Cassidy most likely could have beat Pac tonight, but thank God that didn't happen. Listen, I'll say this. I'll take a triple threat match than taking Omega over Cassidy, okay? Because I said it last week. I just don't need to see that as the main event, okay? I've said this about Orange Cassidy before. I like Cassidy, but he's an acquired taste, though. Now, do they want to do this because it's probably, it's going to be a full capacity crowd and whatnot, and they think that's going to draw? Yes, it is going to draw to them. Do I think it's that big of a draw? Not really, okay? Some would say, still, AEW being a niche audience, which that's probably a good example and whatnot, okay? But, like I said, Cassidy is popular, but you can't put the world title on him. I'd rather see Pac versus Omega. I think that would be a better match, but I guess, okay, I'll go with the triple threat match then, and most likely Cassidy will take the pinfall, but I just did not want to see Omega versus Cassidy at the damn pay-per-view. I'm sorry, that shit ain't gonna fucking draw. It'll draw to AEW fans. I get it. It will. But as a whole, I'm sorry. I'm just not buying it. I'm really not buying it. I know Cassidy's very popular, but for the world title, though. Be serious. For the world title. No, he's not going to win, but still, is it going to draw pay-per-view buys? Is it going to raise a lot of things going up? Just think about that. Think about that. That's your main event. So, yeah, I'll stick with the triple threat match before I go with the one-on-one match, okay? So, Pac, Cassidy, Omega, we'll see what happens. But I'm sure Omega will retain at double or nothing. So, at least they're trying to stack this up as much as possible. But I still would have just went with Pac and Omega, though, for the title. The Bucks and Gallows and Anderson were pissed off. And the Bucks, they were fighting champions. I guess they're going to be facing the Varsity Blondes, Pillman Jr. and Griff Garrison next week. Hey, got promote that dark side of the ring, I guess. So, yeah. Hangman Page was in the back with the Dark Order. Talk about, his match with Brian Cage recently. And told Cage, listen, I know you beat me already, but, hey, if you need to move on, you can face me in a rematch or double or nothing, okay? So, do that. And I guess he gave his best wishes to Ricky Starks, which I heard earlier today that his neck was broken due to that match with him and Page. I know it wasn't on purpose or anything, but that was a hard fall that did happen. I remember that suplex he did and, Starks landing on his neck, so he may be out for the next 3 months. I'm surprised I'm now just hearing that his neck was broke after this, but that was a pretty bad landing, no. But, best wishes to Ricky Starks and hopefully for a speedy recovery and he'll be back soon. But, yeah, very tough to hear that he broke his neck after that move. Next, the Pinnacle was out there to celebrate. Looked like they were all dressed to go to some wedding, it looked like, but they all had suits on and everything. MJF talked about, we're number one on cable last week because of us, and at the Inner Circle, we could give him a rematch, but Tully got in the mic then, basically saying when you quit, you quit. We got King Maxfield out there, or King, why I said Maxfield, Fieldman or whatever, but like I said, Tully said when you quit, you quit. That the pinnacle at the top of the world. He said he got the most hottest women that this city has to offer. I'm sorry, but I don't know if that was the best you had to offer out there. Okay, don't get me wrong, those women were hot, but I probably would give them a 6, maybe a 7 and whatnot. You could have got some better hoes, maybe. I'm not really sure, but this is the best that Jacksonville has to offer. I'm sure you probably could have found some hotter ones. Okay, but like I said, I'd probably go to 6 or 7 just to rate that. But basically, they had the Pinnacle. He bought all the Pinnacle watches and everything, basically style and profile. I feel like Tully was trying to be like Ric Flair out here, and he couldn't do it. Like, he was trying his best, but I could see Rick in this spot doing this type of thing than Tully. I've seen it with Fortune before, but I could see Rick. You got the women, you got the money, you got the watches, you got to be styling and profiling, okay? But next thing you know, it was a car horn happening. MJF basically said who is ringing this horn, who's interrupting our moment. But next thing you know, who's in that car though? We had, in the inner circle of Sammy, Ortiz, and Hager. Basically, MJF talked about how, oh yeah, you don't have all your members. Santana's not here right now. There's no Jericho. But Jericho ended up showing back up. I'm surprised Jericho was actually back already, to be honest. I thought he'd be gone for like a week or two. But he only had a brace on his arm. And at least they showed a camera shot of a different angle instead of, doing the close-up of him in the pillows and whatnot. But Jericho said, are you going to give us a rematch? MJF said, no, I'm not going to do it. Jericho said, are you sure you're not going to give us a rematch? He told Sammy to let him have it. Next thing you know, they shot like a water gun or a lot of the bubbly at the Pinnacle, which they all started falling all over the ground, well, except for Tully, it looked like. But they all started slipping and sliding all over the place. And then MJF told Jericho, all right, you'll get your rematch, but it's going to be at a stadium stampede. And I just kind of rolled my eyes at that, and I'll tell you why in a second. But if you guys lose in the inner circle must break up forever, either you take it or leave it. And basically, they flipped off the camera then, basically accepting it. All right, number one, where have I seen this segment before, huh? With the water or the beer truck or the champagne truck out there. What did Tony Schiavone say? It may be one of the greatest things he ever seen. Stone Cold Steve Austin, beer truck, Kurt Angle, milk truck. Where have I seen these segments? By God, we are just taking everything from Stone Cold nowadays. We got beer trucks, Mike Tyson. Dude, are we just trying to copy WWE's booking or what? But I'm just sitting there like, where have I seen so many Stone Cold references on this show nowadays? I feel like I've seen so many Stone Cold Steve Austin references nowadays. But I'm just sitting there like, champagne truck. Where have I seen this before? Stone Cold Steve, like I said, Stone Cold Steve Austin, beer truck. Give me a hell yeah. Kurt Angle, milkshake. Oh, it's true. It's damn true. So, yeah, I've seen this in the past a lot. Seen that a lot of times. As for the Stadium Stampede match, I'm going to be honest, I'm surprised they really doing another one of these. I thought this was only due to the whole, well, I know we're still in a pandemic right now, but I thought this was really just due to the pandemic. I thought we were kind of past the cinematic matches at this point, but listen, I feel like this is 50-50 booking and the inner circle will go over. I just do. I don't really need to see this again. Don't get me wrong. Like I said, I watched it and it was enjoyable. But like I said before, you're either going to like it or you're going to hate it. And I'm not going to sit there and call it a wrestling match because it wasn't last year, okay? It was a cinematic match, all right? It's not the worst thing I've seen in the world, but I can see why people did not want to see that, and I'm sure they probably don't want to see it again with the football field. So, and then again, it's like you got fans now. You got a full capacity crowd. So you don't really need to do this match. Last year, you didn't have jack shit there. Now you got people, all right? You having a full capacity crowd. And then again, you just had the blood and guts match last week. Why do you need to do another big match at the pay-per-view? Because we got to stack Double or Nothing up to the top as much as possible because you got a full crowd. You did your big match last week. This probably should have been the end of the feud, and we should have moved on from here to something else. So I'm actually surprised they are still going to continue this, and we have to do a Stadium Stampede match now. Like, dude, you just had Blood and Guts last week. That was great. Other than the ending, it was still great. Great match overall. But I don't see the point of continuing this now, okay? I really don't. So do we really need to see a Stadium Stampede match? Honestly, do we need to see a second one? Does this feud need to continue? And I've said before, 50-50 booking. Inner Circle will go over. I see that happening. But JR had a sit-down interview with Britt Baker, talking about her match coming up with Hikaru Shida at Double or Nothing, talking about a year ago that she did face Shida and busted up her face. She had to have surgery and everything. And, Baker basically talked about pain can break you or change you. And she said she's become one of the baddest bitch on the planet since then. And she's the monster that's going to the throne, Shida. And basically, you can never go too far in emotional investment or whatnot. And Baker talked about how, you want to paint me as the villain, but you're just going to keep autographing my best artwork and whatnot. So the deck may be stacked against Shida right now, okay? So she said, she's been keeping this division together since this pandemic, all right? And she's going to be the heart and pulse of this division when she wins the title. So Baker is obviously going to win this belt, okay? Obviously, we've seen more Baker than we've seen Shida. Where's Shida been? Is she going to get a rebuttal or something? Because waiting on that, because it's been mostly about Baker talking and doing everything throughout this whole feud. But Baker's going to win that title. So Baker's got to win. Like I said, she has to win. So it's happening. We saw return Thunder Rosa, where she's been on NWA lately. But she beat Jasmine Allure. Jay Cargo had an interview earlier today, basically talking about who's going to manage her, saying she can manage herself. In the main event, I know we had a promo video from Darby Allin, basically talking about being thrown down the stairs last week, having to skateboard and his warehouse. Talk about how far he's come and basically what has Miro done since he's come to AEW. You've been the best man and played video games, all right? And that you're just a generic son of a bitch, and you think you take the TNT title away from me? Then I'll make you one of the toughest people I've ever stepped in the ring with, though. But we'll see if you can win. But Miro made his entrance. Sting came out with Darby Allin. Miro attacked him before the match. Of course, Scorpio Sky and Ethan Page were watching. But other than Miro beating him down, this is probably Miro's best match up to date. I'll tell you that right now. This is his best match up to date. I enjoyed this match. It was good. The back and forth was really good between both Darby and Miro. Miro looked like a monster out here. By God, Darby doing that damn suicide dive and bouncing off of Miro like a fucking pinball looked great, okay? Just the back and forth dodges. Darby getting that Slumdog Millionaire on him, and even a Code Red and whatnot. But Miro was able to counter after Darby tried to go for an armbar. No, Sting got attacked by Page or Scorpio Sky. And even you could just see the pain even on Darby's face as he's looking at Sting, seeing if he could still do this. So you could just see the story in his face, like, just trying to survive out there. But Miro ended up getting the accolade or the game over for the win. Scorpio and Ethan Page attacked Sting in. The Dark Order chased them away. Miro celebrated until Lance Archer came out, even though we saw Lance Archer sit in the crowd earlier watching the Moxley match. See that a lot nowadays. But I guess he's trying to go after Miro for the title. And he probably may be his next challenger. So let me say this. Number one, Miro should have been booked like this from the beginning, okay? This is what he should have looked like. Like I said, this was his best match up to date. He looked like a monster out there. Why was he not like this from the beginning? Why did you choose to do all that stupid bullshit with the video game and the best man, and even aligning him with, Kip Sabian and Penelope Pitstop right there, okay? This is how Miro should be booked. That promo last week was great. This was great what we saw tonight. More of that, okay? We need to see more of that. So at least I can say they are getting on the right track with Miro, all right? They're finally on the right track with him. He got the title. He had a very good match out there with Darby. So I like this. This is what more we need to see of Miro, all right? This is what we need to see. Not that best man bullshit. This is how they should have started from the beginning. This is definitely how they should have did this right off the get-go. So that was good. Overall, good show. Main event, U.S. title, tag title was okay. The Cody promo was really good. MJF, Jericho, Stone Cold, Steve Austin, beer truck segment. Up and down on, not really sure about the whole, Stampede thing. Pac and Cassidy. Hopefully Cassidy was okay because he was kind of on the ground for several minutes. But triple threat match coming up. Omega and them should have saw that coming. I still agree with Bully Ray's comments, though, what he said about the whole Impact title thing. But then again, Don Callis is there, so that is management when you think about it. So make a quick note on that. But yeah, overall good show. Like I said, a lot of build up going into Double or Nothing coming up since they have a full capacity crowd, and I guess they're going back on the road again, which they can only travel to Texas and Florida. So then again, it's not like they can really go nowhere due to still COVID restrictions in Texas and Florida. Only ones that gonna let you do stuff. Well, Florida, we already know that. Texas, they stopped giving a fuck about this shit like 2 months ago. So given the states. And people wonder why WWE, I know people have been shit on WWE, why they haven't rushed to get the people back and whatnot. I'm like so I'm not going to try to go into a whole COVID conversation right now, but I will say this. It is a vaccine. Yes, it is. But you got to be careful on how you rush shit when you open it back up. Because time and time again, I've seen things get rushed open back up, and then something bad happens, and then we go back to square one again. So, I'm not saying, I know fans got to come back. I know you got to open the world back up. Just be careful and don't rush it, in my opinion. So, you already know what I said about the whole full capacity thing last week and my thoughts on that. So, I'm not going to go into that again. I'm just going on the whole, I'm going back on the road again. So, that's what I just want to make a little quick thought about that too, okay? Like I said, up and down on that whole situation. But then again, it's Florida, people, okay? It's Florida. Remember, it's Florida. Alright? And Texas in that shit too. So yeah, other than that, I'm out of here. Comment, subscribe. Follow me on Twitter, @HoodedKnight890. I am done with this Dynamite review. I will see you tomorrow night with my Impact review. I'm out. See you guys later. Peace. And you can hear me, right? I'm just making sure the volume is up so you can hear me in this video. I'm sure it's loud and clear. Wow, I'm messing up my words. So there is no sound issue. Just to make clear on that in the comments section. Had to make that clear. Peace out.